and welcome to another episode of Who Gives a Hoot. I'm Luke. That's Kyle. Hi.
It is very hot.
Yeah, your AC's out. We were going to be joined by Ryan, but his AC's out. Currently, the person in the home with no central air is the only one with working air conditioning. So It's hot.
Of course, this is the first week when it gets into like the 90s too, and that's when all this stuff happens.
And we've got 2 games this week too. So
in 90-degree heat.
In 90-degree heat, like it's gonna be a long week. Not a huge amount of news. Rashid was up for goal of the week last week, or save of the week. Noe had a great goal against Greenville, but not goal of the week material apparently. Noe moved into second in the Golden Boot race. I think he's only 2 goals behind, and we're at 2 games in hand on most teams. I think only Northern Colorado's played fewer than us.
Yeah, Noko's played fewer, and then somewhere between like 1 and 3, because I think Richmond has 14 games.
Yeah, Richmond has 14, and more than half have 13.
13, yeah.
Yeah. So currently, we're sitting 10th in the table with 11 games played. Chattanooga and Central Valley below us, both having played 12. So, is what it is. Greenville, we'll get there. We're not going to talk too much about that because we got things to look forward to. But Union Omaha released a new kit, their 3rd kit, which they will be wearing, I believe, for the first time on June 24th for their Pride Night at Werner Park, which should be a fantastic one. That's against South Georgia Tormenta. They also hosted, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, one of their team talks with Football for the World's Joe Marinkovic, and wow, I'm bad. I horrible names. One of the board of directors, Football for the World, former UNO player. I think he's now involved with Football for the World Jamaica, since he's from Jamaica. But if you want to,
blanking too.
Yeah, if you want to check out at least part of that talk, it is available on the Who Gives a Hoot Instagram. We only got about second 35 minutes of it due to the fact we didn't realize the team was live streaming or wasn't live streaming. So we jumped on that as quick as we could, but still some great information there. It was a great talk covering the challenges of the LGBTQ plus community in soccer, specifically collegiate sports and sports in general. So
Vance Brookwood.
Yeah.
I had to look it up because I want to make sure, because he gave a lot of great insights as well.
Yeah, Vance was great. I was thinking Chance, so I was a couple letters off. But Vance and Joe played together collegiately at UNO. Just great stories all around there. Definitely worth checking out the I want to say 30-ish minutes of video on our Instagram. Other than that, not a whole lot of news. I guess the owl from Fontenelle is going to be there on Saturday for the bird battle as well for Pride Night.
All right.
Orion the owl. So that'll be cool. Go get your picture taken with an owl on a really hot day. I'm sure that owl is going to be loving it. Maybe buy it a snow cone. Just saying, be nice.
I mean, I know there's a lot going on for Pride Night. I know there's not as much for this Wednesday's game. I know that a lot of the focus is going to be more on Pride Night doing stuff. So if you're able to get out there, it'd be great. Sounds like it's gonna be really fun.
I mean, Wednesday is disco night, so
yeah, I'm not sure what's all happening for that one yet.
I'm just guessing it's 95 degrees, so wear your leisure suit out to Werner Park. Seems like a good way to do it. Let's talk a little bit about the Greenville game, because I only think there's a little bit to talk about. The guys came out with a little bit more fiery. What was it, the 11th minute Noe scored?
It was early. Yeah, I can't remember the exact minute. But it was early.
Great run of play. Eighth minute.
Yeah.
Great run of play. Noe finds himself open yet again, puts it right in the back of the net. Like that's what I've wanted to see so much from this, and happened early on. And then we couldn't keep the lead. Ended a 1-1 draw,
as tends to happen this season.
Yeah. We just aren't able to hold the lead, and it came back to bite us. 1-1 draw away at Greenville. Granted, that is a tough crowd to play against. It was hard to tell what line was what, but I thought it was a pretty well reffed game, especially considering the way we've been seeing reffing in this league. Not overly physical. There wasn't anything egregious to me.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just that Devin wasn't playing.
Yeah. What exactly it was, but I felt like both teams underperformed their capabilities.
I mean, in general, right? Because Greenville's now played 2 more games than us and have 4 more points than us, but still overall, they're not doing great this season, just like we're not doing great this season.
No, the perennial powerhouses, save Richmond, are kind of hurting. I think it's very good that the guys got a bye week after that game, though.
They were looking pretty tired by the end of that.
Yeah, because we'd played some very tough matches leading up to that. I'm pretty sure Dom was putting them through their paces pretty strenuously. The way he reacted after that game, he seemed to think they did better. I think we can all agree they did better, but there was still definite tinge of British disappointment there.
I mean, it was better than Charlotte, right? It was much better than Charlotte.
If you set the bar on the floor, it's not hard to be higher.
So there's that.
So took the off week. I guess they reported back Thursday of last week for practice. Was out at the Storm Chasers game, the Union Omaha night at the Storm Chasers, and they had all of the guys lined up to give autographs. Connor gave a horrible first kick. I
saw the video of it. It was nowhere near Rashid.
It was nowhere near Rashid. Rashid was ready for that too. He'd been warming up for 5 minutes beforehand, but Connor.
And then apparently they were doing all the inter-inning activities and stuff.
Yep, they were doing all the inter-inning activities. There was a fan trivia, which Michael Sharp, who many listeners are probably familiar with, was the winner of the trivia. Answered every question without hesitation. They definitely were not expecting his game at a baseball game. But no, great to see them out there. They were getting a lot of interaction, a lot of Union Omaha gear being worn at a Storm Chasers game, which was cool to see. And just something like, as far as Union Omaha gear, at Exarban Farmers Market on Sunday, and wandering around. Usually, I kind of try to keep track of like what international kits I see. I saw more Union Omaha merch there than I did any. I think I saw one Dortmund jersey, one Liverpool jersey, and like 2 Union Omaha kits and like 3 t-shirts. So they're getting there. They are getting there. So definite community strides being made. We just need to turn that into attendance at games. 95 degrees is probably not going to help, but some wins would.
I mean, wind would be helpful. And we're used to playing in wind out at Werner.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the nicest thing is I'm going to be wearing my Pride jersey that night because it's the only white jersey of theirs that I own. And so that'll help too.
No, the nicest white jersey they've released, some great details on it. It's my first Hummel kit at all, so really, really happy with it. And as you said,
I found the fit to be much nicer. For both this and I got the home kit as well, and I found the fit to be so much nicer with Hummel.
Yeah, it's just an overall better feel than the Nike ones for sure too. But let's jump ahead to the Knoxville game. Knoxville is sitting in 6th, 5 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses. Former Owl Gabriel Claudio playing there. Mr. G.
I don't know how much is he getting to play.
Well, I want to say it was month of May. He got the team voted goal of the month.
Oh, okay.
So
I knew early on in the season he wasn't getting as much time.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on like how consistently he's playing, but when he has been playing, he's been impactful from everything I've seen. So be great to welcome him back at Werner Park. Be even great to welcome him back and take all 3 points. Excited to see him back.
I mean, they've built a good team. Like I'm looking here at their roster from the previous game, and Chrysler, Skelton, Waldeck, Villalobos, Keegan, like those are some solid League One names from prior seasons.
Yeah,
that they were able to
attract. They picked up a good crowd there, and I mean they've been competitive. They're sitting top middle of the table on 19 points, more wins than draws and losses, but they're only teams that have fewer losses than them are us, Charlotte, NoCo, Madison. Yeah. And NoCo's only played 10 games, so in those 3 games, if they lose all 3, they'd be tied. So they're running into a little bit of what we have with, not necessarily losing games, but drawing. Although they've been getting some wins.
They've got been better as far as wins. Yeah, we have. We were talking about this a little bit before, but we've fully gone the draw route right now in that we have 6 draws, which is more than any other team, even those that have 1 to 3 more games than us. So
yeah, Lexington and Richmond are next closest on draws with 5. And they both have played 13 games, or Richmond has played 14 games, and we're on 11.
Yeah.
And I want to say this is the first time I've seen us with a negative goal differential.
I feel like there were times last season when we had one. At least earlier on. I don't remember for sure. But yeah, it's not a common occurrence, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's a negative 2 goal
differential. We don't normally have like a crazy high goal difference either, especially back under Mims, right? We were having like single digits a lot of the time, but
Yeah, we're not Central Valley Fuego level goal differential
no.
at -11.
Yeah. And
The
yet
Red
still
Wolves
they're
are
only 2 points behind
-9.
us.
Yep.
And it's still they're only 2 points behind us because they know how to win, at least. Instead
Yep.
of
When
they know how to win and know how to lose. They can't draw, but they can win and lose.
they do know how to win and lose, not draw. Knoxville, they've got the veterans. They've got guys who've played multiple seasons at Werner Park as competitors. I don't think they're going to be as taken aback by baseball field as I'd hope for their team's first time at Werner. It's the first time we've matched up with them at all.
Because the first one got rained out back in April. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those players that I named earlier, like they've played on the field before at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like some prior season. So I'm sure there will be a little bit of learning, but also our team still is kind of learning Werner, right?
Yeah.
So
like we're still not. We've played more road games than we have home.
We've had what, 3 games at Werner?
I want to say 4.
Maybe 4.
Yeah.
And
not
a ton.
Yeah, not a ton. A lot of new guys on our squad, but I think it's definitely something we can hopefully still turn to our advantage a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Lineup wise,
well, we'll see on Mueller. It sounds like they were kind of just resting a little bit more in preparation for this week.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see him this week. I don't know if we see him both games, but I think we see him at least one of the games this week.
If you're going to try him out against one team, which one would you do it? Knoxville or Georgia?
Oh boy. I would say you either play him the whole one Knox game, or you sub him on a little bit at the end of one Knox and then start him against Tormenta. Would be my thought.
Yeah. I think the sub on late against one Knox and then play him against Tormenta probably are better. Tormenta having 2 attacking midfielders that have played against us, played for us, and then Dalton in defense, which, damn it, Dalton.
Yeah.
It just hurts right here.
It does.
Score prediction against Knox.
Oh boy. I think one thing that we haven't talked about is what the front line will look like, because Dos Santos did he play the full 90?
I want to say he did.
He did, yeah. He played the full game, which was an interesting choice. I don't know what the thought is there. Love to see Steinwasser.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm hoping we get a win in one of these games, and I'm trying to hedge my bets on which one it's going to be. I say maybe we get a 1-1 draw here against one Knox, and then we beat Tormenta on the weekend.
If FOTMob is to be believed, and I'm seeming to remember this, Connor came on late in that game because he kept his streak alive.
He did keep the streak alive.
But it was Eddie finally got some minutes.
Yep, and got a foul and was it a card too? Yeah, card like near the end of the game.
Hey, that's what I wanted to see from Eddie. Put some fight in there. And Alex came on, Steinwasser came on. So
he came on for Luis, and then there was an interesting kind of formation there where I don't remember if he was playing midfield or if Noe dropped back to midfield. It's been a little bit.
Dom was making some attacking moves, which is something I felt has been lacking at some points, but I wasn't disappointed by the subs. I probably would have used more, just looking at how fit some of our guys looked.
Yeah, and we had one window left. Yoskar finally got a bench appearance. I guess we didn't talk about that, but Yoskar got a bench appearance. I would have liked maybe seeing him or Chavani get in there at the end. That might have been nice as well.
I mean,
like I understand you were kind of defending because Greenville. It was very much back and forth at that point, but
yeah,
I still think it wouldn't have been bad to see.
Well, I mean, Shido made a end of game massive save to preserve the draw, so Noe Stein and Steinwasser up top, I think would be my preferred against Knox.
Yeah, I mean, there's the argument, which is one that I know people have had as well, of that maybe the thought is that Noe and Steinwasser are too similar in play style, and you want two different options. I still think you can try it out, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd like to try it out for 60 minutes. I think we could hold Knox for 60 to see how those two mesh up front for that period.
And then whatever the situation is, whoever's looking worse, you could either put Dolabella up there, or you could throw on Dos Santos for one of them.
And Pedro was in the midfield for most of the game against Greenville. Like, he didn't shine there, but having him on to just kind of rotate in, essentially like trade out strikers, I think would be a good move. And I think that's a little bit of what we saw against Greenville.
Yeah.
So I'm saying Noe and Alex up top.
Okay.
Are you thinking Noe Pedro?
I mean, I'd like to see Noe and Alex. I don't know if that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah.
After having Dos Santos play a full game, I'm curious what the result of that, like what Dom thinks of that result of him being able to go a full 90. So
definitely, it'll be interesting to see.
Did we ever get a timeline for Gallardo?
No, I don't believe so. He looked pretty healthy when I saw him at the baseball game, but I seeing a guy walk around a baseball park
different.
than seeing him on the pitch. But a week and a half off, if he was able to kind of work in as the guys came back, we might see him out there. Again, haven't been super thrilled with his.
I've liked him. Well,
I like him on the ball.
I like him on the ball. And hopefully there's just a little bit of meshing there. But because my thought was with the midfield, otherwise I feel like really the question midfield is JP, Luis, Pedro, Joe Brito, Connor, and right now at least the Greenville answer was take out Connor from that. So I'm curious if that's gonna be the answer to one Knox as well, or if it'll just be like they're gonna shift. We'll try a couple different ideas for both of the games.
So Luis had a pretty good game against Greenville. Like, it was one of his better performances.
I would say I've liked Luis the whole season. I just don't think he can play a full game. So he's got to come off at some point. So he's always had really great first halves, in my opinion. Second half, not so much.
Definitely. I think JP has kind of solidified himself in the midfield.
A lock when he's healthy. Yeah.
Yeah. And Burrito's actually, like, he started off the season not really in the mix, but he seems to have kind of planted himself, and he had a good game against Greenville.
Yeah, and I'm curious if that's partially an effect of Gallardo's injury, because he had been kind of trading them off for a while. But I think he's shown that he deserves a starting spot too, which I would agree.
And I think they're interchangeable depending on the defense. So like Joe's going to put it over the top more often. His foot skills are not near what Gallardo's are. Gallardo can't pass.
Okay, you said Joe, and I'm like, we're talking about the same two Joes in the same position.
One of them is the OG Joe, so he is going to be Joe.
Okay.
And then we've got Gallardo.
Okay, that makes sense.
But Gallardo can't pass. He just can't do it. I'd be interested to see his statistics on passing this season. I haven't looked at Opta, but it's got to be like 20%.
Yeah, I haven't looked, but
and we're one of the highest passing teams, if not the highest passing team in the league right now.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. I haven't looked at it recently, but like, yeah, no, we're the only teams that we're getting beat by in passing are teams that have played at least a game, if not multiple games more than us.
Yeah. So I think we play Burrito against Knox. If Gallardo's healthy, I think we see him against Tormenta. All right, score predictions for Knox.
1-1 is my thought. I think that's what I'm going with.
I don't know why this defense is doing this to me, but I'm 3-0.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Our fourth shutout of the season.
We
haven't had many.
I want our defense to do something amazing.
Yeah. We've given up 17 goals.
Like our defense against Greenville, Shaft, I felt kind of they had him marked from the get-go.
Yeah. I think that's partly because I think he was a problem for them when we played him at home recently.
Yeah.
And so I think they were like, hey, we need to adjust hard on this aspect.
Yeah. And they did. They shut him down for most of the game. Junior, actually, he hasn't been making the mix a whole lot, but I thought he had a pretty solid game.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't change the defense from the Greenville game against Knox. Now, Tormenta, which, as we mentioned, has 3 former Owls.
Is Dalton and
John Murphy Jr.
Yeah.
Is the Unified series after this game?
I think it is, which makes me even more sad that I can't make it. So I was already sad enough with it being Pride Night and other stuff, but now the Unified series is after it as well. It's interesting that we're playing Madison after we played Tormenta. I thought it'd be after we would have played Madison again, but just maybe because they were so early
I guess
in the season.
Just like the season breakdown didn't allow it or something like that. So Tormenta, we've done particularly well against in the past. We've had 4 wins, 3 draws.
Say it?
No.
You're not gonna say it? Okay.
I'll let you say it.
I don't know if I want to say it because I feel like it's gonna jinx it.
With Dalton there on defense, granted he hasn't quite been the linchpin he was in Omaha.
He doesn't seem to be there, at least. I don't know why exactly that is, but
yeah. But Toby is the one that worries me. Because right now we have no defenders who played with him. You got Shido, who was in goal with Toby on the team. You got JP playing a 6 when Toby was on the team. Toby's good.
Toby's so good.
He's so good.
I'm still disappointed that we don't have him on the team, even though that was over a year ago now that happened.
Yeah, I'm still very sad about that. This is going to be a lot harder for us to defend against it, in my opinion. Even though they're ranked lower on the table, I see like Keziah Sterling, if he's healthy, I mean Toby, if he's healthy, they're tough.
I was gonna look at their last game, but they actually had to abandon it, I guess.
Yeah, I think they similar to the Madison. It just got too late, and they ended up having to abandon. I want to say in like the 40th minute or something.
They had been beating Noco as well. It looks like they had a goal when Noco didn't.
Well, we know how that goes.
So, yeah,
but
and yeah, they had Bush in keeper. Dangler still as a defender who has the fun distinction of getting two red cards 2 games in a row against us.
Let's make it 3.
I know, right? Oceano Fonseca, who was the one who had scored before it got called off. Sterling played that game. Dalton was on the bench, as was John Murphy.
All right.
So
do you think Dalton makes starting with against us just because of his history? We've seen teams do that in the past.
I mean, there's the reason I'm not sure because I think if Mims was coaching, I think 100%.
Yeah.
But because it's a new coach and a new style and a lot of new players, I don't know if they will.
Fair.
So, I mean, I could see it happen, but if it seems like he's kind of their third center back right now, I don't know if that'd be enough to put him and start him.
Yeah. Yeah, I that doesn't sound wrong to me. I still think, as we've seen in the past, like you will have teams that come in and throw guys into the rotation just to give them the chance to do something big against their old team. So be curious to see if that's what happens here. If you see John and Dalton start, whereas they haven't been, or if they're going to come in with the guys that they've been winning with. So,
though no question, Toby is going to start.
Toby's going to start
100%,
and I'm still going to love him even if he scores against us because damn, is he a nice guy?
Yeah,
he's just such a damn nice kid.
I'd really love it if he didn't score against us, but do good things. Just please not against us.
So I'm feeling a JP goal this game.
Interesting.
Like JP hasn't been. No, I don't think it's from distance. I think it's going to be a header.
Yeah, so that is one of the interesting notes. Actually, is that early on in the season we were scoring a lot of set pieces, and that's kind of trickled off now.
Well, it seems as though a lot of teams have had us covered aerially. Like, I don't think we've been winning the aerial duels that we had been at the beginning of the season. I don't know if it's just there's better height in the league this year or what, but there definitely been some smothering going on. And I don't feel like we've been getting up in the box as much as we should. JP's had some good chances with his head, but has not quite made it.
Yeah, and even I want to say a couple of our defenders have too.
Yeah, Lexi's had some good opportunities. Dos Santos, tall guy, can't jump.
Yeah, he. I thought he would be so much more of a threat in the air, but he is not really.
Can't jump. Like, so with the short corners at Werner, I'm seeing a JP header. I think Noe gets one. Like, especially if they're putting guys out there that played for us, especially if Dalton's in defense. Dalton wore the armband for us a number of times last season. Like, there's going to be some. Let's kick his ass. Still going to love Dalton at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
He's not going to score against us because he's classier than that. You're classier than that, Dalton. Classier than that.
Yeah, because otherwise, yeah, like honestly, this is where I had said I thought we were gonna win one of the games, and I'm thinking it's this one, and I'm gonna make the risky prediction. I mean, I know you just say 3 overtime, but I'm gonna say 2-0 for my prediction for it. And whether that's JP and Noe or however that happens, I don't know. But I think this might end up being at least a bright spot. I don't know if it's going to be a changing point. I hope it's at least some sort of bright spot. We get a win. We'll see.
So I'm going to do 3-1.
Oh.
Just because Toby's going to score. He's just going to do it. And I'm not going to be upset about it because it's Toby. But I'm seeing JP off either a set piece or just run a play with a head. Noe with some sort of, I don't even know what he's going to do, but it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. And Mr. Burrito himself is going to.
He is not.
I'm feeling something from range for him. Like, I think he's due, and I think playing there at home against second game in a week against Tormenta, I think is where he's going to do it.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time he scored, but it's been a while. I don't know if he scored this season.
Yeah, I don't know as though he has.
I think because he's had two League One goals, and I think they were both last year.
Yeah.
One Open Cup goal, but that was definitely last year. Because he had that one against Chat, and then I think he had one other one. And then, of course, his famous Open Cup goal against Minnesota.
God, that was nice. I wasn't even there. But it was nice.
It was very nice. So yeah, I mean, I'd love it if he could finally get a goal, get that off his back.
If Noe can get 2 this week, 2 or 3 this week, that would put him ahead of Amon for Golden Beat.
That would put him ahead of Evan as all-time leading Union Omaha goal scorer as well. So currently he's at 15 all-time League One goals, and then
Yeah.
I believe 17 all-time goals, and Evans at 19 League One and all-time because we didn't have the cup there.
And I mean that'd be a huge week for him if he could, get top of the Golden Boot race, beat Evan out, achieve that. I mean, he's already club legend at this point, but solidify it. I very, very optimistic for Noe. I wish the team had better form behind him, but
yeah, other than we have the very extremes. We have Noe and we have Shido, who have been having good seasons, and you could argue Shaft as well. I'd say,
yeah.
Everything else is a little bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Like, not to knock.
Not to say anyone's been terrible either, but like some people have had highs and low moments. It's just been a little bit more mixed.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Anything in closing? Anything we missed? Make sure you definitely stick around for the Unified game. Last year, the Unified game after the Madison, both Madison home and away.
It was incredible.
Fantastic. You get the team down there cheering on all the players. It's great soccer.
I guess
the kids all down there.
I haven't looked up what the team looks like this year, but there were a few players from last year who were like incredible, who were so good. And like if they're still on it, it's fully worth going to watch. They were so good.
Well, I just remember there was one goalkeeper for us last year, and she was just amazing. Like I just absolutely amazing, and making some fantastic saves, controlling the pitch in a way like I was not expecting to see.
There was a midfielder. She was just running by everyone. She had incredible ball control skills. She was so good.
Like it get out there. Maybe you'll see Chivani start coaching again. He has a history of doing that. Maybe we'll get some play-by-play from Yostar again. But stick around for that. It's going to be an absolutely amazing post-game game.
Hopefully, do you know if there are any plans to stream it in any way?
In the past, it's been done on Instagram. If there's not one going on, I'll see about trying to put it up on the Who Gives a Hoot Instagram. Okay. So no promises, but if you can't make it out to that, which shame on you. Shame on you all.
I'm so sorry.
Yep. We'll be trying to make sure that you get a chance to watch at least that game. Other than that,
it's a big week.
We got to do it.
We got to always have
to. Always have to do it, and if it doesn't happen, I've already hit the panic button this season.
Yeah. It definitely is not looking good for the rest of the season if we can't get anything this week. Because I'm still I don't necessarily have hopes that we'll be, number one top seed, right? But I do think that we have a decent shot of making the playoffs still. But that's going to slowly start dwindling if we can't back that up.
No, we definitely need we need at least one of these two to stay in contention. I think we need both to prove that we haven't fallen off completely.
Yeah. And that's because it's a discussion that I see it in the stats, and I briefly talked about it with some of the front office staff too. Like the detailed stats are showing that, man, we're a decent team, but it's just not, something's not coming together. We're just letting up goals.
We're not controlling the midfield.
Honestly, We're letting up goals when we don't need to. We're scoring sometimes, but not all the times that we should be. Like there's all these different little things that if we just were able to put them together, I think we would be a really good team. It's not happening so far. So hopefully we can start putting it together at some point.
Definitely accurate there. All right. We got one last question. Who gives a hoot?
We do.